Spoken Language.
It's the Seahorse Records Podcaster, yeah.
Amanda.
Andy.
Yes, I am Andy N. She is
Amanda Nicholson.
Yeah, welcome to Spoken Label. Now, this is in conjunction with Sea House Records today, and we have a guest, a very special guest, who's just brought out his debut album on.
Yes.
I've seen he's even yet before we introduce him here. Look at that.
He's so excited to share his album.
Now, of course, it is the wonderful, and he's a dear friend of ours, old Grant Curnow. We're going to do a deep dive today on the full of the album, aren't we, Grant?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I love these kind of shows, you know, when people talk about what their ideas are. Sometimes they're better than the albums. You know what I mean? So, especially in like comics, you know, when they come up with jokes and stuff, I love listening to those kind of podcasts. So, yeah,
Brilliant. Yeah. Now, we have to obviously make people aware, Grant, who you are, first of all. So tell people a little bit about yourself, first of all, mate.
All right, cool. Yeah, my name's Grant Curnow. I'm the alternative comic / tragic novelty folk singer and a - amateur time lord. So, yeah, so I do a lot of comedy, musical comedy, and Doctor Who jokes with my good pal Minnie Dalek, who's always my comedy sidekick. So
yes,
I'm gonna say hi. And he's on the podcast. So
yeah, I think has he been shy today, Grant?
I think he is actually. I'll just check his battery's okay. There you go. He's alive.
Yeah, just about. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Okay, we are here today, obviously, primary, Grant, to talk about your debut album.
Yes.
Now, this has been coming for a good few years because Amanda, how long have we known Grant for?
Quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
2015 or something like that. I'm not sure.
It's been a while. It's been a while, certainly, because it's like I think we met you over at Gordon Zola's night over in Prestwich, didn't we? Cuckoo Calling. That was way before lockdown. Because we have stories we could tell about you, Grant. I always remember Amanda. Do you want to tell people about Grant outside Stretford Mall?
Yeah, I remember when we sacrificed Paul Grant outside Stretford Mall. And just
that was amazing.
Of an audience of about 2.
Yeah, if people are wondering, that's where we ended up. Speakeasy our night. Me and Amanda's night with Steve, and Grant is a dear friend and guest of ours frequently. And we got asked to go and read some poems outside Stretford Mall for some just before Christmas show. Steve didn't do it for whatever reason and kind of nominated me and Amanda. And what happened, Grant? We nominated you, didn't we, to come along and be our friend?
Yeah, and there was like children's choirs, wasn't there? Like, and then it was us, and then we did like a little melody, didn't we? We did your poems, Amanda's poem, and I did some songs. And I did the amused children.
Like 2 children, one that was it. I think.
Yeah.
So that's why we've always been a good friend of you, Grant, ever since, because we didn't see you, obviously, till well after lockdown. Then we all got talking last year, didn't we, about our Not the TV Guide podcast, and we had a hoot ever since. So, but anyway, today we're here to talk about Grant's debut album, Troubles of an Amateur Time Lord. Now, obviously, before we play the first track today, Grant, you better tell about the title of the album, where that came from.
No, it took a while to come up with it because it's kind of like, because some of the songs are quite old. Some of them are like, I started writing them in like, I'd say 2007.
Wow.
Like yeah. And then like, and then we won't finish until the earliest ones on the album won't finish until 2009. I would say they're the earliest ones. Go into that later, but so I was like a bit insecure when I started writing them. So at the time, but I was thinking about trying to get a theme because they're not like it's like a new batch of songs for an Edinburgh show I've done. They kind of like sums up my whole career so far. So I was kind of thinking, what drives them all? They're all kind of anxieties or something that's terrible that's happened to me, or
trauma.
Trauma. Yeah, kind of like self-help really. So I thought it was just trying to trouble. It's kind of like, and I was trying to think of I'm a big Syd Barrett fan, you know, from Pink Floyd. And so I like these debut album, the Madcap Laughs. Always thought it was a great title. So I wanted something a bit like that. Could you read it and go, what the hell does Troubles of Amateur Time would mean? What does Madcap Laughs mean? I thought something like that. If it was in an old charity shop or something, you saw a CD, you'd think, what the hell's that? So that's kind of what I was going to say something boring, like the tragic folk novelty for songbook, or I had a new folk, because that was one of my Edinburgh shows. I quite like that. It was a Star Wars pun, but I thought, nah, it didn't really work. But so yeah, it's what Troubles of Amateur Time. I think it works. It took a while to get there, but yeah, so I'm happy with it.
into the first track, of course. The first track is Song for My Parallel Self.
I believe in a parallel me, living our lives simultaneously. I often wonder what he's like, and does he share my love for Marmite? I wonder if he shares my love for Morrissey. First reggae, like UB14. I wish I'd read quantum mechanics, every decision I make causes me to panic. Does he know?
Okay, Grant.
Does he
Tell us about this song then. Amanda, do you remember when Amanda had a poem wrote about herself some years ago when she saw a picture of herself in Stockport Art Gallery, Amanda, didn't you?
It was like a sort of old-fashioned version of me if my face was a bit skinnier.
Oh, right.
And it was
Okay.
just so weird, like looking at it. It was like looking in like a funhouse mirror or something.
Oh yeah, they're scary then.
Yeah, this is what made me think of this first song, Grant, actually. So tell us about this song then. What made you want to talk about your parallel self?
Well, as I said, this is the earliest. This is probably like the third or fourth song I ever wrote. So, do you want to see fourth or fifth? I think. Yeah. So, started writing the song because I was living in London after leaving university in Lancaster, and I was planning to move to Manchester. So I was a bit anxious about, is it a good move for me? All this. So I kind of thought I watched at the time. Do you know the Eels, the band The Eels?
Oh, I love the Eels. Yeah, I do.
My favorite band. And the guy, Mark Oliver Everett, the lead singer, did a documentary that was on BBC 4 at the time. It was called Parallel Worlds, Parallel Lives, because about his dad, who's Hugh Everett, the quantum physicist. So I was watching that, I was fascinated by it. And then it's the first time I've ever really heard of it. Because nowadays, like, multiverse is so popular. It's a bit of a cliche now, isn't it, in all these comic book movies. But this was for me, it was a novel idea in 2007 to do a song about it. So it kind of just interested me, and I kind of thought of what would make I thought about it, what the decisions would be I can make. So it was a bit of anxiety about moving. And I knew I was doing the right thing because I wanted to. All my friends from uni were there, and I was going up every weekend. I was just living with my parents, and I could afford. It was easier, cheaper to live in Manchester. So yeah, so that was kind of like I was anxious about making choices really, and then so I just tried to express it in a song in a funny way. So I wasn't really a comedian then, so it was just silly lyrics. So it wasn't really. I think if I was rewriting it now, some of it's quite deep actually, because like it has this very pretentious line about solipsist. So because I used to run a night in Manchester called Solipsist Anonymous. So it was about solipsist is like a philosophy where you only believe you're the real person and everyone else is just made up. It's just your imagination, really. So I had to explain it to people at the night what solipsist meant, and then they got the go, oh, Solipsist Anonymous, I get it now. So there's quite a pretentious gag in there, which probably wouldn't do now, playing the comedy circuit. But so that was one of the things that was going through my mind at the time. And one of the good things about this song, actually, because there's a line about Russell Brand in it, and when I released it recently, I was worried because he'd gone out of the public attention that no one really liked. He was big, wasn't he, back in the early noughties? And then thank God for Channel 4 Dispatches, put him back in the limelight. I can make fun of him again. So I'm relieved now. So yeah, so yeah, it's just about reconciling anxiety about moving on. And even if I made the wrong choice, make the best of your life. It was just kind of that, just trying to give myself a pep talk, really. It's a catchy tune, I like it.
Brilliant, man. Okay, right. On to track number 2, Puss in Boots.
All my life's read an animal sidekick, a dog like Snowy or an owl like Cakewig. Be my little butler, serve me cups of tea, live her own version of Downton Abbey. Like this fairy tale, meet my perfect match. His name is Puss and he's a big beauty cat. Say all these things and I say them all the time. Wish Puss in Boots was a friend of mine. Jacko had bubbles and he turned out alright. All makes sense in my little mind. Yes, it does. Puss will be suave, of course, and most spontaneous of heiress. He'd be my hero like Enrique Iglesias. Playing Spanish guitar, voice sits on my knee. I cover Sex on Fire, reach the top 40. Kings of Leon would be best to please. Think they made the song a lot more creepy. Say all these things and I say them all the time. Things would be better with Puss by my side. Teach me all about romance and chivalry. As Puss is my big man, have a chance at Taylor Swift, you'll see. Here's your single now. Puss would decide to leave for more challenging pursuits. He didn't want to stay and get too big for his boots. Other artists would steal her act like little...
I remember watching this actually when you performed it at Speakeasy.
Yeah.
And we actually got to meet Puss in Boots. He came to our table to meet us.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about Puss in Boots then, because I want to learn all about all the deep dive and everything and anything here, Grant, today.
I know. All I can say is I'm a massive Shrek fan, so I like the first two Shreks, and at the time I loved the Puss in Boots film. I loved the second one as well. I went to see that in cinema. And I just love the character, and I've always had a fascination with like super animals, like super smart animals. Like my favorite one of all time is Lassie. I love Lassie, and then I love like the little hobo. Flipper, I love them all, like super animals, Hedwig, from Harry Potter, like these super smart animals, Pokemon, and I've always been obsessed with them as a kid, and I've always wanted one in real life. But obviously, like dogs and cats or whatever, they're nice in real life, but they're not anthropomorphic, are they? You can't really have a conversation with them. So it was just kind of living a fantasy, really.
Brilliant stuff, mate. No, I agree. I felt that it was interesting choices to follow on, because straight from the first track was the stylistic tone of the two-piece. I think was quite different.
Yeah,
it worked really well, because I think I tend to look at the first track of the album as almost like a false beginning on purpose to lure people in. Then you go into all kinds of weird and quite wonderful directions of this album, certainly, which particularly on the third track now, which I'm really interested in learning more about this at the moment, Charity Canvases.
Yeah.
Charity canvases, they all localise street harassers. Whenever I go to the shops, the fear inside me that never stops. Charities working everywhere, hiding in packs, clipboards and pens waiting to attack. Oh no, see me or shit, that white guy in dreadlocks that can run pretty quick. If they manage to catch your eye, they'll block your way, time to run and hide. Have to tell them a quick lie, but they still won't believe you. Charity canvases.
This is another really early one. I think it's like just after I wrote Song from Parallel Self. I was just at the time I was unemployed in London, and I just kept getting harassed by the same charity canvasser in my high street. He just wouldn't take no for an answer because I didn't have any money, and then I only had £10 left, and it was to buy the new Harry Potter book that came out on Deathly Hallows, and he said, "Oh, you can wait next week for it when your doll comes in." And I went, "No, I can't." I don't know. Massive argument with it. You don't know how much I've been waiting for what happens to Harry. And on my family read them as well, so they would spoil the ending for me if I didn't get it on the first day. So so that's where it stems from, really. I was just it's got angry. So sort of song I don't really do anymore, really, but it's what my manager. Well, we talk about manager. One of my best friends, Johnny, who's like on the label. It's his favourite song, so I put it on for him, really. So and it's
I like it. I like it. Amanda, have you got anything you want to ask Grant about charity canvases?
I think it's obvious. It's relatable to everybody, really. It is like if you're walking down the street and they come charging towards you, you just try not to look them in the eyes. Because once you've looked them in the eyes, they've got you. You can't get away with it.
I know, but someone says, "Oh, is it super right wing or something?" Because it's against charity, but it's not. I'm not against charity. It's just the aggressive sales techniques. That's what I'm saying. But I feel when I more explain it, it's a bit like when it's like saying, or it's like when people say I'm not a misogynist, but there's too many women in Marvel films, stuff like that. Like if I try and defend myself on it, I just feel like just say as little as possible. But it was just some guy who annoyed me. I wrote a song about it, and it was a bit of a punk song. I think on the album it sounds really good. The Mojito added like a trombone on it. It sounded really cool. It sounds like a bit of a 90s Blur song, I think. So it was really good. So, Yeah,
I know
I'm
there's
really happy.
part of it, it feels like it's speeding up. And like when I was listening to it, I'm imagining in my head like you actually running away and nature chasing.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going to
It's
say.
all one of the tambourine sounds on it. Yes. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know. We won't talk about doing Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man next time, will we then? So,
Yeah.
on to the next song now. I think Amanda's been thinking about me with a song because the next one's called Dennis the Menace.
Yeah. Dennis.
My friend adores Pet Labrador, but his dog and I don't see eye to eye. His name's Dennis, he's a menace. He attacked me once on the way to play tennis. He went for my balls, they're precious to me. New balls, please. A walk in the park, things soon went dark. So he took off his lead, did another misdeed. In lightning speed, a lady's lunch he'd feed. With a rap on the floor, my friends had done this before. Once stole fisherman's fish, he stole his dish. That's a naughty Dennis. When Dennis was little, we used to be mates. Then he tried to eat the glasses off my face. He wouldn't stop, I cried for help. Everybody laughed.
There was a couple of lines in this that stood out to me. I love the fact that you've rhymed tennis and Dennis.
I know. Yeah.
And then you've got a line about him trying to eat the glasses off your face.
It's all true story, all true offences.
I get worried about you, Grant, frequently. People know that anyway. I worry about you. Not in the way that you people may think here either, definitely. And this is one I thought, yeah, this is pretty close to the truth, this straight away.
Yeah, there's no exaggeration really in it. Like Dennis is he's a black lab. I mean, he's a really gorgeous dog. He's named after Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys. The Hellraiser character. So his soul's in Dennis a bit, but yeah, he was just a very naughty puppy. He's calmed down a lot actually. James got him in. My friend James got him in lockdown at the early, right at the beginning of lockdown. So and he was a really cute puppy, and we got on quite well. But as he got older, he just got more and more aggressive towards me, which I've noticed on. And then I told James when he was drunk one night, I'm going to write a song about Dennis, and he asked for his approval. He went, "Yeah, fine." And then about a couple of weeks later, I told him, "Yeah, it's finished, and I'm taking it to Edinburgh." And he was like, "What? What have you done?" You said he was fine, and I was really nervous when it came out on the EP. And luckily, him and his wife were really into it. So all publicity, bad publicity is good publicity, isn't it? So
True. Great stuff, mate. Okay, on to the next track. We're doing well here today. This is where I'm
2 minutes long, so you can get through this album quite quick.
Oh, I know, yeah. We're not telling people like this, but people don't realise, Grant, there's 29 songs in this album, isn't there? Don't understand. Okay, this is where I'm struggling to read handwriting on CDRs now. The next one is A Man in Red.
Policy of austerity has been upheld anew. Been walking red line since the minterly, ain't no knees. Since June kind of died, I had to pay the nasty bedroom tax. I got so many bills to pay, I'm no longer the man in the black. All my tax credits have been slashed, but the government never get it. The people need more Johnny Cash. Yeah, I hear. When I was the man in black, I never.
Who is the man in red?
Well, he's kind of like he's basically Johnny Cash back from the dead. So, but he's got like Jeremy Corbyn's brain. So he's just a massive socialist now. So, yeah. So we have because it's long. This is actually really, really old song. I wrote this originally about when I was at university. It was called Lancaster City Blues. It was basically a Johnny Cash parody song. I was in a band at the time. We were called Hello Sailor. That was our name for a band. We only had 3 songs. One was the theme from Doctors. We played that on guitar. It's a daytime TV show. We did a Phil Spector cover, and then we did this song called Lancaster City Blues. But it had the same. It's got the same melody as Man in Red, but it's got the same. It's got one of the shares the same line as what was it? The Clash said, "I should go. Should I stay or should I go? But I'm not the Clash. My name is Johnny Cash." That was the only line I've kept from it. I rewrote the whole. I like that line, and I was just playing on guitar one day, and I thought, this is good. And then it was just around the time of Jeremy Corbyn and austerity, and I just thought, what if he wasn't the Man in Black, it was the Man in Red? And I just kind of went on that tangent down that. I've got so many Johnny Cash puns. I'm a massive Johnny Cash fan. So I just did loads of puns as I could get into. There was a verse about the Greek economy, but I couldn't make it work. It was really, really fun. Like he went to Greece at one point in the storyline, but then I changed it to go to Mick Hucknall's house, and that was the end. And I thought that was better. So he went to Mick Hucknall's house because he was in Simply Red, but he's kind of one of those classic New Labour. He's one of those classic New Labour people, isn't he? Mick Hucknall. He was a socialist when he was younger. Now he's pretty much a Tory, isn't he? So
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it was good. So we really want to do a video for this one eventually. But I love the way it came out on record. Matt, the producer, he played drums and on it. He just got the riff really well. He got the pace of it, and he said it was a bit like math country rock because I changed time signatures quite quickly in it. We did it live and he played up, and it just sounded really good. It was really what I wanted. So when I play it by myself, it doesn't really sound like a Johnny Cash song, but when on record, it really does. So I was really happy with it. Yeah,
it just shows a difference sometimes, doesn't it, between doing things live and on record sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why. But excellent stuff. Okay, Amanda, is there anything you want to ask Grant about Man in Red?
Not a question as such, but I'd love to see the video, but I'm not sure what you do about the line where it says shooting a man in Tesco.
I was wondering that. Yeah.
No, what about that? Yeah, it was quite because I have loads of green beans and I'm just kind of like meant to shoot someone and run off, but just trying to get it filmed in Tesco.
Brilliant. Okay, guys, on to the next song then. I've got a question on this one, but we'll play to let people hear it first. Warhorse.
There's a horse that means a lot to me, goes by the name of Sweet Joey. He's nothing like that annoying guy from Friends. He's Warhorse, a true legend. Worked on a farm, I'm a good farm lad, but sold to the army by his drunk of a dad. Why should we care? Well, we all should, of course. The First World War was won by a horse. Joey was born to make hay, not war, but was helped in battle by his friend Top Four. He's a horse too, thought the war was mad, with Franz Ferdinand really that bad. Then over top to battle the Jerrys, but made it live, did our Joey. He's better than Avengers reinforced with just this. This horse really takes the sea biscuit.
I kept thinking of that book, Warhorse, for some reason. It's been made into a film.
Yes.
By Michael Morpho, was it?
Montego, is it? Montego?
Yeah. Is that obviously was that an influence on this song then?
Yeah, 100%. Because basically, I was at work and Joe, when you get books that come in, like you used to get at school where you could just like sign up to a book and just it will arrive the next day. You would just say like, you had a list of books and you would just say tick them. I was just bored and I was at lunchtime and I was like, because we were wherever the office was, it was kind of it was about out of nowhere. You couldn't really go out at lunchtime. You had to stay in the office really. So I just thought, I'll read Warhorse, and ended up reading it at lunchtime. Absolutely, I loved it. I became obsessed with it. And then I had a song I was working on, and it's one of the easiest songs I've ever written. It just came to me like just followed the plot of Warhorse, and then just kind of did my own spin on it really. But so it's one of my favorites. I love playing it live. It's good fun live. I like it. I love getting the crowd to play along with the horse.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I've got coconuts that are played on it. I'm going to use them at my album launch. So.
Good man. Amanda, is there anything you want to ask Grant about this?
No, I enjoyed the song.
Yeah, same here. So it's a really good, nice, real good jazziness in this song. Yeah, so
it's got it's like Monty Python as well in it with the coconuts.
Yeah.
That's what we were going for in the studio. Yeah, I thought it came out really well. I was really happy with what Matt did on that. Sounds great.
Yeah, it's a good, real good song, that one. Okay, on to something. Since talking about Monty Python, let's do the lead then. And now for something completely different. And this next one is. I'm trying to read handwriting. I'm struggling with handwriting. Your handwriting is a lot less to be desired, Mr. Curnow.
It's not great, is it? Yeah, I'm not a sheep, it's called. Yeah.
I'm not a sheep, right? So
Yeah.
I am not a sheep, I wear a rich cardigan over my fleece. I'm the only hipster in my flock, the never to Brooklyn, New York. I'm the only sheep with a beard, everyone thinks I'm really weird. The farmer tries to shave me with his shears, I bite him on his ear. He falls down to the floor, said he can't take this anymore. Need your wool to survive, I can't afford my flock gentrified. Nobody thinks I'm really cool, and nobody knows how I break the rules. They're all happy to follow the herd, treat me like a massive nerd. Why should I conform to society and make the confident skinny jeans? Well,
I love the line that says, "I'm not a sheep, I get my hair cut by little Bo Peep."
It reminds you of sheep,
That just made me crack up laughing.
Yeah, it's a great line, that. Okay, Grant, why are you not a sheep then?
Yeah, it's all about like I love hipsters. Like, really, well, back in the day, like when the hipsters were on the peak, I was always looking out for the hipster coffee place or cafes, or especially when you go traveling, you want to go to the hipster places. So I was like, really, and I kind of like used to make a joke because I wear my suit and I got my purple jacket and all that. I used to joke I was a hipster on stage because of my quirky dress sense. But now I've always kind of fascinated by that kind of subculture. Where does it come from? Because it's like a modern thing, isn't it? So I was just bored at work. I was just staring out the window and I was just thinking, well, what if that happened in other parts of the animal kingdom? Like a sheep decided he didn't want to be a sheep anymore. He wanted to be, express his individuality and his love for coffee and his love for beards and lamb buns in this case. So I just kind of went on just a trip. It was kind of a hard one to get my head around for ages. Then I realized that we all had to become hipsters at the end. But even when he was actually happy with that situation because he had people he could relate to. So yeah, it was just kind of it was just a silly story that I went down the rabbit hole with it, and I really like the guitar on it. I like the guitar I play on it. I like it.
Yeah, it's a decent song. Really good fun, that one. Right, okay. The next one. I think this next one is Amanda's favourite, actually.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I think I'm right there, so unless it's the Christmas pudding one. Singles night.
Yeah.
I went to my local singles night. Hope I meet somebody really nice. I was feeling nervous when I arrived. Found it was just me and one other guy. Should I push him down the stairs? The girls will never know he was even there. We're soon surrounded by single ladies, and I was given a paper romantic poetry. I didn't know we were courting like it was 1853. And I'm not Mr. Darcy. Who wrote the poems was the quiz, how can I see? I didn't get any despite my English literature degree. Next we had to pick a board game to
This
play.
is funny. I hope it's a true story. Because I just love that. I love the idea of you wanting to push the guy down the stairs. Because if it was me, it was the way around, I'd probably do that as well.
I did, to be honest with you, that thought it comes across my head. I was just a bit like, oh my god, it's just to the two of us here. What is this? Like, there's so many women you see, and we just sat around mutually gravitated towards each other because it was just like, what can you do against this kind of horde of people that surrounded you? It's like Helm's Deep, Lord of the Rings. You're surrounded, you just don't know what to do, how you get out of it. So we kind of it wasn't just what I expected, really. So I just wrote I met a guy. He was an estate agent. He gave me some good advice. So that happened. I played Nico. We played a romantic quiz. There was a questionnaire. I didn't put this in the song, but I didn't want to offend the person that did it. But there was a question about which explorer, because they're all like love or Valentine's related questions. They were like, which explorer was killed on Valentine's Day in Hawaiian Islands. So I was just like, because I was only one of the few people taking the quiz seriously. I was trying to show off. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, it's either Captain Cook or Christopher Columbus. And then this girl went, I think it's Robinson Crusoe, actually. I was just like, I think he discovered something else. So I had to be like, I didn't want to be rude or anything, but it really made me laugh. That was one of the funniest things about the night. But I didn't want to ridicule someone like that. But even doing it now, I don't think they're going to listen to this podcast. So, but no, it was a weird night, and yeah. So yeah.
I know I've got a friend. I know he did speed dating about 10 years ago. He did, and he bumped into his ex-wife and his last two girlfriends at the
Really?
same
Oh,
night.
God.
Yeah.
Actually, that's an inspiration grant for you. We do a second one of them, mate. Remember that, right?
I know.
Right, okay, we better move on now. And this next one's my favourite song on the album, actually, apart from the Christmas pudding song.
Oh, brilliant, yeah. Thanks.
The Great Gatsby.
If I came into some money, inherited through something dodgy, live inside a 10-story TARDIS, a garden parties with lots of Daleks. I might mum for sons, but not just to play. Just want to steal Carrie Mulligan away from the management instead of me. I wanna be next Great Gatsby, even with money. Carrie Mulligan still wouldn't talk to me. I drive to town in my Rolls Royce, blasting my horn, making lots of noise. Then I remember I can't actually drive. Crashed to a Weatherspoons passing by. On a billboard, Brian Cranston's eyes are staring at me. Tires in Berkey's warning me. Breaking Bad is my destiny. Yeah, bitch, I don't wanna be next Great Gatsby. Even Walter White said I'd think my life. An angry mob will knock at my door, demand my wacky guess and visit no more. Say the Daleks are scared.
When did you first fall in love with Carrie Mulligan then?
You're gonna know, aren't you? You're gonna know. Well, she was Sally Sparrow, wasn't she, in Bleak?
Yeah.
One of the greatest ever Doctor Who episode. Yeah, so yeah, I loved her from it. And then when she was here, she was married to my mortal enemy, Marcus Munford. You know, he represents everything in folk I despise. So it was quite funny. I remember, this is a funny anecdote. I remember once I went to a job interview. Someone asked me what hobbies were, and I said, "Oh, I'm a songwriter." And I went, "Oh, what songs do you write?" And I went, "I write tragic novelty folk things." And the guy went, "Oh, like Munford and Sons." And I went, "No, I'm not that tragic." I didn't actually say it. I wish I'd said that, but I just kind of went, "No."
Quality.
Yeah, that always brings me laugh when I think about that guy. But yeah, but this one is. I've never actually seen any of the film adaptation. I'm a big Scott Fitzgerald fan. I've got most of his books, so yeah, I love his writing, and so so I love that book, and then I just kind of imagine, because one of my biggest fears is never an anxiety thing. If I ever was super successful, would I be a horrible person? You know, and I would. So I kind of describe me being like a Michael Jackson kind of Neverland. This song is my answer to Neverland, really. The Great Gatsby. I live inside a 10-story TARDIS. I've got Daleks for butlers. I'm stealing Carrie Mulligan away from the man. And then then we have Sidemen sick on a dustbin. Everyone just having a great party. So
Brilliant. Okay, moving on now. I think this next one is another one of Amanda's favourites, I reckon, as well. Paddington.
To me, you're perfect like the film Paddington 2. There's nothing I wouldn't change about you. You give me a hard stare, I wouldn't care. You're unusually attractive like Hugh Grant dressed as a nun. I knew you were the one. I'll always defend you like the Pixar film Cars 2. It's not worse than the first one. The critics are wrong. Get me annoying like Mater. I wouldn't say see you later. You give me a grin as wide as Radiator Springs. You are my soul mater. To me you're hilarious like the film Zoolander 2. Unpopular opinion, discreet by millions. Only ever seen it once. That was enough.
Do you have a video
You
for
saw
this
the
one?
film. And
no, I
saw
haven't. No.
Admit it.
I need
You
to
like
think of
to-
something up for it. Yeah, it'd just be hard to do the Vin Diesel bits when that's the problem. It's a third bald wig on or something. I don't know. Yeah, so this is one I wrote. Basically, I love Paddington. Paddington 2 is a masterpiece, by the way. It is one of the greatest films of all time. That's no joke. Yeah, love that film more than anything. And but then also I like a lot of very bad films. You know what my take is on the prequels. You know, I love I love Jar Jar. So I like a lot of them. So I love Cars 2. I'm a big fan of Cars 2. Yeah, I even enjoyed Zoolander 2 when I was. I've not seen it since, but I did enjoy it in the cinema. I did. The best bit was when Justin Bieber died. That was the best bit. But and then even the Fast and Furious films, the joke about them being bad, I love them. I really got into. I actually wrote that line before I'd seen number 9. I just assumed they'd be terrible. Then I watched them, and I actually really liked them. I was like, so yeah. So I do like bad films, but also like obviously fantasy. But also, I'd probably be funnier to compare aspects of someone you like to bad films and just or perceive bad films. Yeah. So yeah. So that was the philosophy for it. I wanted to be a nice song. Yeah. So like Paddington. So it wanted to be a sweet song. Yes. Only one song on the album, proper love song on the album. So yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I love that song. I do. Next song, and this one I've hinted at twice already. I think Amanda has as well. And this was probably the one that always sticks in my head with you, Grant. You've done this at least two or three times at Speakeasy.
Yeah.
Well, we love you coming on to do this. And this is Christmas Pudding Factory Disaster.
Yeah.
The sunny day, August 2005, didn't feel very Christmassy outside. I just finished university, got a job at a Christmas factory. I was gonna be Santa's little helper, set of a woman with a temper, sure, bitter, had a hunchback, packing smelly puddings into racks. Life achievement was 12 a minute, 3 or 4 was my limit. I never thought I could take so long. Tupperware lids are very tough to put on. True Christmas pudding factory disaster. Haven't had Christmas pudding since after. Got told off, being too slow. Improve tomorrow, will have to let me go. Let me go.
We was arguing about this the other day, me and Andy were. So you have to settle the argument for us now and tell us, was this based on a real job that you did?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yay.
I win.
Yeah, she wins.
I would never make something like this up, honestly.
Oh, well, tell us about it then. Go on then. Give us all the dirt then.
Oh, right, okay. So yeah, I was just finished uni. I was still in Lancaster, but I was staying around for the summer. So I was having a really good summer, just hanging around with graduated, hanging around with some friends who decided to stay over the summer. But I also needed work. So went to the job agency and they said, "Oh, we've got a job at the Christmas pudding factory if you fancy it." I was like, "Yeah, sounds amazing." And then on the first day I was late. I missed the train. So I had to get a cab from Lancaster to Kendal, which is miles away. So probably all the amount of money I would have earned that week had gone down the drain pretty much. So I went to Kendal. So it was in Kendal. It's I think it's one of the biggest Christmas pudding factories in the country, I think. So but I had 2 days of it, and then I was just really struggling with the Tupperware lids. I couldn't do them quickly enough. They were really it was a really well-oiled machine. I was just like. And there was an older woman who I mentioned it, so she absolutely despised me. And then we used to sit at lunchtime. She would just blank me. And then I got told on the third day, if you don't improve tomorrow, you'll be gone. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and then that's what happened. I went down. I ran into work. It was late again for the train, and I fell over and slid down the alley. And then so I had really bad. I really hurt my knee. And then I don't know. I forgot my hairnet. I had to go back and get changed again. I had my watch on, had to go back, put my watch in the locker. Yeah, honestly, the stench of the brandy bar was just so potent. I used to get it every day. And then I really tried my best, but honestly, it was just so fast, getting all the lids and putting them on. I just couldn't do it. It's my mum's from the northeast. She says I got cack hands. Have you ever heard that phrase?
I have. Amanda, have you heard of cack hands?
No, but I think I've got them as well.
Oh, I know. All the best people have. That was it, really. But yeah, it was just the 4 days that weren't there, and I wrote a blog about it on MySpace. This is how old I was.
Oh, wow. What you like at Christmas time now then? Can you eat Christmas pudding?
Yeah, that is a lie. I love Christmas pudding still, but yeah, it always just give me a reminder whenever I smell it. I go, oh God. No, I still eat it. I still enjoy it. I mean, you can't never rob that from me. But it's a funnier line to end on. I thought, if I don't ever eat it evermore. But yeah, the reason I wrote it because my friend Rachel Nyman, she runs Cherry Aid Records. She used to run this label. And her and her husband Adam, I know from uni in Lancaster. They have a Christmas album they release every year. Just get loads of bands to really. They've had like people like the Lovely Eggs on and stuff like that. So and then they asked me to record a song, and I just thought, well, I'll turn that blog into a song. And so pretty much the lyrics were already there, so I just had to make the sentences rhyme because I described it all already. So it was pretty an easy song to write, but the melody's quite hard to play. It took me ages to play it properly, and now I can play it behind my head and stuff and really show off with it now. But it took me a long time to play it. It's quite a hard rhythm. It's quite a bouncy thing, but yeah, it's quite a hard song to play and sing. But yeah, it was hard work. So
I bet it was, mate. Because I've seen you and Amanda as a speakeasy before now, playing the guitar at the back here, doing all these rock star poses. And there was one occasion, and this is obviously something that could never be transcribed in record. We had it and the window was open because the back window was open.
Oh, yeah.
We were terrified because it was that warm winter night. We thought you were going to go flying out the back of it and land on top of a bus or something.
Yeah.
Onto the second to last track now. Onto the second to last track now. And this is where I have something I've already botched up on. Grant, I'll let you tell us what this last track's called and we'll lead into it.
Yeah, so this song is called Manhattan. So it's about Manchester, but very respective of a obsessed Woody Allen fan, which for my sins I am. He's my comedy hero of all time. So it was just kind of an anxiety of influence song. It's Manchester references mixed with Woody Allen references. Just expressed in life of basically that kind of, I say, of anxiety of influence. You got a hero you love, but then there's also terrible allegations against him. It's then a kind of shoehorn. Got him from New York, and then shoehorn Morrissey as well because he's my musical hero growing up. He was still one of my favorite artists, and then he's got his dodgy political views. So I've got two very big influences on me that are not we describe as nice people, but they have influenced me, and I love their art. So it's kind of addressing that. And then I thought it was good way to end the album because the first song was about me moving to Manchester. Now I'm actually talking about life in Manchester and just my kind of neurosis about being a Woody Allen fan in Manchester, trying to meet girls online. So so it was it's one of my favorite songs. I love the melodic bit in it, but Matt did for me. It's got a real jazzy vibe to it. It's one of my favorite melodies. I just very personal songs to me. I don't know if it's probably my favorite song on the album. So, but one of them. So So it's just about don't copy it. Admire your heroes, but don't let them get away with everything. They should be accountable for it. So I think there's a lot going on in 2 minutes, but I'm trying to convey it all, but all my anxieties about it. But
Right, we'll let people hear it now.
Skies are grey, but I'm not blue. Along came a movement called Me Too. I'm a massive Woody Allen fan. Like Shaun Ryder, he's Twist My Melon Man. Can you separate the artists from their art? Especially if their past is very dark. Nothing's ever black or white, except his films, which are often black and white. But I have a plan, I don't need Manhattan, I don't need New York, I live somewhere better, of course, in Manchester. I meet girls online at matchboy.com, looking for Scarlett Johansson or Diane Keaton. Most of the women have now left the site. How am I to find a wife? I go out to Big Hands Bar. A girl in Smith shirt sat not so far. Does she wear Morrissey on the outside? Cause she's like Morrissey on the inside. I'm so confused. Does she share his most recent views? Shyness was nice, but
Amanda, before we go on to the big conclusion here, is there anything you want to ask Grant about that song?
No, I was just thinking it's a good one to perform around Manchester, but if you ever go to somewhere like Liverpool, probably wouldn't perform that.
Well, I did perform it once at a Jewish comedy night in Edinburgh. Like I went because I was just looking for gigs because I do my show and I wanted to know any spot you could get. So I thought, I could. They said you didn't have to be Jewish. I thought I look quite Jewish anyway, so I'm not going to get away with it. Then I was like, "Hi guys, any Woody Allen fans in?" Total silence.
Whoops.
Yeah, and then it was just an awkward 2 minutes, and then so just walked off, and I was like, okay. I always think about that when I play the song. So that was one of my worst ever gigs, really. And then I just didn't not like me at all through that one. But yeah, so he's a good soul, and I still like it. So I don't care what they thought.
As I always say, they always say, don't you? The author is always right, or in your case, the artiste is always right. So, right. Okay, the big finale now, which is interesting enough. Is it a big finale, or is it just you just pulling the carpet out from under your audience's feet? Well, let people hear this first of all. Mini Dalek's final thoughts.
That's it. We've come to the end of the album. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, do you know what? I've not introduced my comedy sidekick. A bit quite rude of me, not introduced him once in this album. I'd like everyone, the listeners at home, to say hello to my good colleague, Mini Dalek. Say hi. What did you think of the album, Mini Dalek? All right, not a fan then. Well, it's okay. Now I'm a big recording superstar. I'm in touch with the heads of Spotify. You know, as they're a Swedish company, I'm going to replace you with my new...
Amanda, is there anything you want to ask Grant about this?
not what Dalek saying that straight away. It's
very quick then. Yeah, that was very quick then.
I love it. Amanda was secretly a Dalek.
Amanda, back to you, seriously.
Well, since he said that to me, I have to tell the Dalek that I love it, don't I? He'll come for me.
No. Was there any conscious decision, Grant, seriously, to actually wrap up the album with... I'm not going to give any hints away what the track's like, with what you did there at the end.
Well, if anyone's ever seen me, it's rude not to include Mini Dalek. You know, I mean, that's all. He needs a song, and I love skits on albums. You know, anything like hip hop or whatever, when it's like a funny track or whatever. And I just thought, well, he needs to say hello at least. So I liked him turning up at the end. So, and it's kind of like Jerry Springer's final thought too. Comes on and his take on things. We have a bit of a dig at Spotify. Like I've got my other mini sidekick, my Swedish one, Mini Elk. There you go, periods. My friend Petra from Sweden got me this because she knew I loved elks. So
brilliant. Okay, we'll do as I was doing spoken label, wrap up with a couple of quick questions, and then let's see if Amanda's got any bonus questions she wants to ask. I don't know if she has. Right. Anyway, okay. First of all, then, what plans do you have coming up? Then, anything you can reveal?
Yeah, so I've got an album launch on 13th of April, releasing the album. And then my kind of plans are trying to write a new show called Dial D for Dalek. Is about we become amateur crime lords, so we're trying to solve some murders and stuff like that. And it's got a bit of a 1940s noir theme. So Detective Dalek, and I'm running the business side. So we just have a few mysteries to solve. So that's the kind of idea I'm going down. So I don't know if I'll be time for Manchester Festival, but I'll try and do some fringes at the end of the year, hopefully somewhere.
Keep us informed.
That this year. So yeah, if any dates I do.
Keep us informed, mate, definitely. Where can people get hold of your album?
Oh, it's on Spotify and it's on all digital streaming platforms. And I'm going to put it on Bandcamp as well. So yeah, and then if you come to the live gig, I'll have CDs with the actual artwork on, not the CDR one I gave you. So with handwriting on. So I'll have the nice ones with the album artwork's me in Fog Lane Park in Didsbury, where I live, and it's a giant parakeet that's talking to me. That's the bit of my badge. And the artist let me use the image, so he's happy with it. So,
Amanda, do you have any bonus questions you'd like to take us out on tonight?
I do have one, yeah. If you could do a parody of any song that you haven't already done, what would it be?
Yeah, well, I'm working on. Oh, you already heard my Murder on the Dance Floor, haven't you? I've done that one.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Actually, I'm trying a Jenny from the Block. Actually, I'm trying to learn that on ukulele.
Oh, God.
I did it on karaoke the other night, actually, for my friend's 40th. So, that's one I'm thinking of. Learning on the ukulele. Yeah, try to do a parody song. The annoying thing is, with the parody songs, you can't really release them because I'll get sued. So, So I've got loads in the bank, but yeah, I just have to see me live to see them. So
Yeah, definitely. We can name one or two that certainly can go get Grant
yeah,
too.
exactly. Yeah, no.
We don't want this podcast to get cancelled, though.
No, exactly.
No, we want to make sure people go and buy lots of copies of the album and come back to obviously pick up all the other releases at Sea House Records, which we're grateful today for them agreeing to do this in conjunction with Spoken Label.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thanks, Andy and Amanda.
It's been a pleasure, Grant, and thank you, Amanda, as well.
Okay.
So, all right, guys and girls, buy the album. Live long and prosper.
Yes, please.
Or Dalek will get you.
Yeah, Dalek will get you right.
You got any final words? There you go. And Minnie Elk will say goodbye.
Yeah, that means Billy Dalek saying, please notice, buy the album or he will exterminate you.
Yeah.
Take care, folks.
Yeah, take care.
See you all later.
Spoken Label. It's the sea